All right, I'm live. Hi, Lauren. Thank you for coming on. It is the 29th of December. It's almost the 30th, which is one more day, and then we're at 2025. It's kind of amazing, isn't it, that the whole year has gone by? It's just amazing to me that it can zip along as the way it is. I don't know if it's the same for, because I know my son feels like it's zipping along. And guys his age, hi, Bridge, 1872. How are you? Hi, Ann, Christine M. Ooh, there went the light. The light is hard for me to predict, my new light. I love it when it's charged. But hey, hi, JB808, Midnight with Magoo. That is correct. And we are here. Hi, ex-witness Vernon. Hi, love it. Good to see you guys. Hi, ex-witness. Question, how was your Christmas? It was really nice. It was one of my favorite Christmases since I've left the cult, which is 24 years ago. But it was really fun. I had just a great time all through Christmas. It was really delightful. And I hope you guys did too. And I'm actually, believe it or not, we'll see, but I'm always kind of hopeful for the new year that hopefully somehow it'll work out okay. Hi, Ian. Thank you guys for coming on. It's late. It's midnight. Did I get presents? I did. I did get some presents, really nice ones. So that was fun. And I gave presents. So that was fun too. Hi, Sophie. How are you? If I knew where you guys all lived, I could send you presents, but I don't. So there you go. And my Amazon thing is still completely jammed up. So if anybody knows anything about how you have to be a real specialist in Amazon, because I've been on the phone with them, I would say at least for 30, 40 hours talking to them, trying to debug this. And we just do the same thing over and over and over and over and over. It's not that. I need somebody in a technical end. And even Mark Bunker tried to help me. And he said, you know what? This is an Amazon thing. It really is. You need someone at Amazon that can help you. And I've called them and talked to them, and it snarled up. So I may have to just cancel it and start a new one. That's what I think, but I've got to wait a while because I'm going to have to use the same phone number. And this phone number, somehow somebody weaseled in there and got it all set up to an old account. And no one seems to be able to unsnarl that. And it's stupid. It sounds simple, but it's very complicated. And I've spent hours trying to debug it. So I finally thought today, I'm just going to cancel it and wait a little while and then start a new one. Hey there, Miss Magoo. Good to see you. Thank you, Witness. It's good to see all of you guys. And this is the end of our year. This has been a really good year for us. It really has. But, I don't know if you guys saw Aaron's video about the enemy list that Scientology is now coming out with. But I wanted to make a couple of things clear because they've been lying about me for 24 years, as you guys know. But now they've really, this is really flat out lies where they said, do you still have a Christmas tree? Yep, I do. I still do. I keep it up usually till the 1st or the 2nd. Now I'll take it. I might plant this one because this is a real tree. So I might plant it. We'll see. But anyway, how were your Christmases? In Hanukkah? Did anybody have a really good time, a fun time? I hope you did. I really do. But let me go over the things that are in this. Tory Christman repeatedly infiltrated Scientology. That's false. I've never infiltrated Scientology. I walked into some Scientology orgs, and it happened years ago, 2016, I think. I was up in Washington with John Kimball, and we were just kind of goofing around, and we said, well, let's just walk in with our cameras on. And usually Scientology will always say no. you can't film here. But I walked in, I went, hello. And the guy went, hello. And so I just kept filming. I didn't know what else to do. So I went and sat down next to the Dianetic video. This is the only time I was in an org where I actually did film. But I just kept filming because he wanted to get his SP declared. That's why we were there. And so I thought, all right, I'll just capture what they say. And of course, they lied and said, oh, we don't have it, and blah, 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 whatever. Mine was blah, but relaxing. I did stuff I wanted to. Okay, that's good witness. And Private Ross 99, the weather in Detroit, not fun. Yeah, I hear you. I've been watching the weather. I saw your pictures in the book. That book was comical based on the comments they made in the book, Many Lies. Yeah, they were really serious lies. And we realized, I mean, I think Aaron mentioned it, that it's old. It's like from 2022, I think, is when they took it from. And that's why they think Spanky is married to Jesse Prince, which is completely false. But they put it in there that Jesse was renting a room at her house at that time. So somebody obviously, reported it that they were married now. They're just so, their ability to do research is awful. It really is. Scientology, you have gotten way worse over the years. I'm just amazed at watching all these younger people and how good they are at research, and just, the critics in general, how good they are and how bad you guys are. It's amazing. All right. Tory, you can wear your investigator hat when you go to Big Blue. Yeah, now I can. I can be like, well, I'm investigating. Exactly. Verity. Yes, that document casting you infiltrating was just weird. And the Spanky page was confusing with Jesse and his wife. I know. It was really, we were like, what? But then we realized the timeline. It was like, okay, they just took old stuff. And Witness said, Tory, they just redo the same BS, like we haven't had lies passed around by others for a long time. They believe what they believe. They just make it up. I know, but it's just sort of, at some point, we're now, all of us are, many people are making live stream videos, and we can say, it isn't like in the old days, they could put out those lies and the people had nothing to say. You really couldn't, you couldn't go around to the orgs and say, hey, I'm a declared suppressive, but I want to tell you the facts about it. It just didn't happen. And nobody would listen to you anyway. But now with the internet, just like I went and listened to Andreas when I was still in. So, people have a way to get into it and listen to it and learn the facts. Like Aaron said, he's got bunches of people that are reporting stuff to him. That's from inside, Osa. You're failing. All right, rolling on the floor, L. Okay, ex-witness Vernon. Question, are they still saying you're from the CIA? That was just a one-time thing last Christmas. They haven't really said that to me since. And I doubt if they will, because it's so stupid. But I'm having fun with it anyway. It's just one of those things. But they did say it. I mean, I made a video about it that night, a live video. So you can see, you can see, well, you don't see the CIA thing because that was the next day. Wow. Thank you, JB808. I appreciate that. That's really cool. Wait a second. I got to put this up here. Wait, hang on. Woo, 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 woo. All right, here we go. Wow. I think we all knew it was full of BS and inaccuracies. However, I was still cheering you on when he got to your page, Miss Undercover CIA Agent. It's true. It's true. And they said it. They made it true. It's like, I would never come up with that in a million years. But it's just so funny that they did it. It's just a riot. It really is. Now, wait a second. Hang on. I'm still learning this. Okay, here we go. Okay. All right. Okay, good. So you knew it was full of inaccuracies, but oh, my flashlight. All right. Hang on. I've got all kinds of stuff around here. I'm glad you guys knew that it was filled with inaccuracy, but it's still kind of amazing that they do it. Mahalo from Love It. Did I send it twice? I don't think you sent. It looks like it's posted twice, but see, here's one. No, that one didn't. Okay. Oh yeah, there it is. There's one, and there's the second one. But I think it's just the same thing posted twice. So, Love It or Sophie, I think he just meant to send one. So just make sure that I don't know how that works. Can you delete it, or I need to delete it, or what do you want to do? Okay. All right. I don't know how to delete it. Okay, and here it is again. Oh, wait a second. All right, no, here it is. Oh, here it is. Okay, here it is. Okay. Okay, Sophie, 808, thank you. Yeah, I got your hat. I got my hat. All right, Private Ross. So anyway, Sophie, can you do that where you can delete one of those for JB808? Because I think he only meant to do one, but it posted twice. I don't know if that'll, I don't know how to delete it. I think you guys have to do that. Anyway, we'll work it out. JB808. And if for some reason it charges twice, I'll send it back to you. You just have to send me a private message on where to send it to it, and then I'll send it back to you. I'm going to need to pick up some OT. I don't know what OT is. What does that mean? That's from JB808. I'm going to need to pick up some O/T. What does that mean, OT? Oh, no, email Tory about it. Yeah, no, I get it. Don't worry about it. ToryMagoo, it's okay. I'm not going to revenge. LOL. You deserve it. No, I don't want you to take I'll just do it. The one time is huge. That's huge. Just send me your email and I'll figure out what to do. These guys will help me. We'll work it out. You are a sweetheart. I really appreciate it. It really means a lot to me. Oh, overtime at work. Yep. You have to do. I don't want you to do overtime at work. No, there must be a way where we can just have it where it's one. It says 2 up here. I don't know. Sophie, do you know how to delete it? I'll ask Bunker tomorrow. He'll know. Because I don't want to just hide it. It says hide it, but that isn't what we want to do. It's okay. I don't want you to work overtime. No way. I appreciate $50. That's wonderful. I really appreciate you doing it. So we'll work it out. We'll figure it out. There has to be a way. Anyway, tell me what's new with you, JB808. Where were you over Christmas? I don't want to be off the enemy list. Some ex-witness Vernon said, question, can you get off the enemy list? No, and I don't want to. It's fine with me. See, it proves what we do. And I used to say this years ago when they would say, well, Scientology is a religion, and you really shouldn't be out here protesting like this. They have a right to believe what they want. And I'd say they absolutely have a right to believe what they want, but they don't have a right to abuse people. That's not okay. They don't have a right to stop free speech. They don't have a right to break up families. They don't have a right to rope children into billion-year contracts. All of these things, sexual abuse, they don't have a right to those things. No. Even if it's part of their church, they don't have a right to it. Those are civil rights it's not okay. So for me, fine, put me on the enemy list. I've sat and talked to people and said, look, here's the difference. I can tell you my side. They can tell you your side. The difference is I can say, all right, Wait, hang on one second. I just realized I got to, oh, just a second. I forgot I got to take off. Oh, there you go. It's okay. Okay. Thank you, JB808. All right, so now I'll click on that and then we're good. Okay, so I realized I would say to them, look, I can say to you, you listen to me and talk to them and make up your own mind. They cannot say that. They can say it, but they don't really mean it because they don't want people to look at both sides, because they know if you honestly looked at both sides, you'd leave. You wouldn't stay. So that's their trap. And I'd use the Truman Show as an example. That's very similar to that. And so I'm fine to be on the enemy list. It's like, go for it, man. It's absolute proof that you do exactly what we say. You lied, just like now. This is now 22 years. I left in 2000. So that's 22 years later. They're still making up lies about me, saying I infiltrate their churches and I go in and take photographs of everyone. And no, that's false. That's false. I pretend to be a new Scientologist. That's completely false. And that I'm in good standings. That's false. I always tell people I'm an SP. I tell them. I tell Scientologists that. And I don't take photographs inside. So those are all false, except for that one time with John, whatever, the guy in Washington. But this is proof that they lie. And that's one of their big things. Like I told the guy, be careful. They're liars and they hate me. And that's why he didn't give him the $5,000. He said, wow, they really hate you. And I said, I told you, I warned you. It isn't like, look at me. Do I look like a hateful person? Is it, I know some people that I can see where people would hate them. They really would. But I'm not one of them. I went into the Santa Barbara org right around the time when this whole thing happened in Washington. We came down the coast and we went into the Santa Barbara org, and this girl gave us a whole pitch. She was the only one there. She gave us a whole pitch about how great Scientology is, blah, blah, blah. And then she said, would you like a tour? And John said, yeah. And we started to go up the stairs, and I stopped and I said, look, I can't do this to you. I'm a declared suppressive person. And she just looked shocked. And I said, and if you give me a tour, you're going to get in a lot of trouble for this. And that's not right. It just isn't. So I'm sorry. And she said, but have you talked to the IJC? And I said, they won't talk to me. And she said, well, I have a phone number for them. And she gave me this number. And of course, they never called me. But anyway, that's just the way it is. So I've actually been on the side of rightness and being much, I could have done some creepy things, but I haven't. But they lie about it. So, okay, good. Then I can just prove they're liars, just like I said. Have they stopped fair gaming you? Well, the fact that I'm blocked out of Amazon for, I don't know, about 20, 30 hours now that I've talked to them, maybe it isn't them. Maybe it's just an Amazon thing, but somehow I think they're part of it. And they have their ways of just doing these little sneaky, ratty things. Please do not spam the chat, Vernon. Okay. All right. Let me see, Vernon. Ooh. Okay. Oh, yeah, that's right. I'm still trying to learn how to use the laptop. It's really funny. I don't even see Vernon on here. Vernon. Oh, 49ers for life. Hi. MD Media was talking to a Scientologist and he sounded so brainwashed. It's so sad. The whole world is laughing at Scientologists and they can't see it. Is MD Media a Scientologist? I thought he was a critic. I didn't know that. All right. Well, you learn something every day. And I don't see Vernon in here. I'm coming on down. Ex-witness Vernon said, okay, sorry. And we'll fix it, no problem, witness said. And JB808, you're a sweetheart, love it, said, you are. That is really sweet of you. It's very, very, really touching. I mean, thank you so much. It really is very kind. And I'm not going to keep both of them. I'm just going to keep one. So we'll work it out. But you have to email me. Question, can you get off I don't want to get off the enemy list. Okay, I think Marty Rathbun is off the enemy list. Marty Rathbun went back into Scientology, basically. He ended up turning against all of us. So, you know, he would be off the enemy list. Yeah. Why was he on it on this one? Question, have they stopped fair gaming you? No. Witness, I agree 100%, Tory. Yep. Thank you. Please, okay. Yeah, must coerce you to stay inside. It's a cult. Sounds like a cult to me. Yeah, it is. I mean, you figure if it wasn't a cult, they would say, go look on the internet, make up your own mind. You know, and I've stood right next to them and they're like, well, you don't want to talk to her. You know, she's dangerous. And, you know, it's like, how dangerous am I? Come on. I'm not dangerous, you knuckleheads. Tory sits on the sidewalk and basically tells passengers by what's going on. I know. And I ask them how they feel about the sidewalk because they're ruining it. And one of our friends, anyway, she's one of the critics in a wheelchair, and she can't she can't go down the sidewalk because it's so lumpy because of those stupid plants. So I've tried to point that out. It's just so cold now. I haven't been out there. That's why I haven't been out there. Tory will take any JC right now, any Justice Committee person at this point. You bet. You know, I've told any Scientologist, come on over. You know, they won't hear my side. They can't hear my side. See, if they heard my side, they'd come out with me. That's all there is to it. I've had people where I have told them my story and they leave. And one of them was a girl who said, no, you know, I heard all of your stories. There were like 3 people there. I've heard your stories. I'm not interested. I'm going back to Celebrity Center. And so I took her outside and I said, look, I told her something. I'm not going to say what it is because Scientology will tell everyone not to listen to that. But I told her something and I said, just give us a couple days. You know, all we're going to do is talk to you, have you watch a few videos, and then you can make up your own mind. And she said, okay. And she stayed for the 2 days. And at the end, she said, I don't want to do it. And it was like, yes. You know, because all it was facts. It wasn't lies like they say. We weren't infiltrating. We were at their home talking to her. MD Media is Matt. He is not a Scientologist. Okay, good. That's what I thought. But someone said he sounded like he was really brainwashed. Okay, Sophie, Tory was on the list that Aaron showed the other day. It's a book that was sent out to all the orgs showing the anti-Scientologists who are a threat. I mean, some of them. They missed a ton of really good critics. And there were tons of people in there that I've never even heard of. And neither had Aaron. So I don't know where they're coming up with that. But they probably, you know, they're trying, like, I know how they are. They don't really want people to know we're out. Because then people will be like, well, why is Tory out? Why is Claire Headley out? You know, why is Mark Headley out? You know, what happened? What, you know, just different people. So they try not to let people know as much as possible. So I don't know what this, you know, this whole booklet is. They say it's going to be in every single org. But I was talking to someone who was pretty high up at Gold tonight, and they said, yeah, it'll only be in HG, you know, in HCO, which is the ethics department, where they have to handle a certain individual. And it'll be like, you're talking to Tory? Well, look at this, you know, that kind of thing. That's how it'll be used. It's not going to be just floating around in the orgs because they're too chicken shit to do that. Go ahead and do it. I don't care. But you won't because you're too chicken. You know that if people see it, they'll start going, well, why did Tory leave? What did happen? Let's look her up. And now they can find out. Witness hi there, says Sophie. That was my thought as well, 49ers. But, you know, okay, 49ers, MD Media is a critic. That's what I thought. He was filming and talking to a Scientologist that sounded brainwashed. Okay, thank you. That's what I thought. Because he and I were going to do a video together. And I thought He's a critic himself, as far as I know. I've always heard of him as a critic. I just have never met him. So that's good. Thank you very much, 49ers for Life. I appreciate you clarifying that. Okay, witness. You're just the most recent person to believe the bullshit. Tory's been doing this for 24 years. Amen, sister. A long time. I mean, and the ironic thing, which I say all the time, but I think it's important to mention because you never know who's listening tonight. The ironic thing is the day I was going to leave, I called Stacy with this phone. It's an old home phone. And I said, Stacy, I just want you to know I am not going to speak out. I'm not going to protest. And I'm not going to make videos. I am only leaving under the radar. That's it. I mean, I don't know where I was planning on going or what I was planning on doing. I really don't. I mean, I was going to visit them for a couple of weeks, but I don't know. I had no real plans for my life. But they, like I say, in LAX, I was a Scientologist. By the time I got across the country, here's Chicago, I met my husband and Osa, who were there. And then by the time I got to Tampa with a mob of Scientologists and Osa ops, I was like, I'm an activist. That's it. You know, it's like, I think I was protesting the next day with Bob Minton and Stacy and Jesse and Mark Bunker. You know, I mean, it took a day or two, but I was out there. Tory, facts are quite effective, turns out. Yeah, witness, good point. Sophie says hi to Susan P. Hey, Sophie. Hey, Susan P. All right. Aaron made a good point that the list did not include many YouTubers, perhaps because Scientologists are not allowed to watch the internet. Exactly. And they don't want them to. See, it's not only that they're not allowed to, and they don't say you're not allowed to watch YouTube. They're just very, you know, if you get into listening to a suppressive person, you have to turn yourself into ethics. And then that goes into a deep, deep hole of, you know, trying to dig out of it. It's not a good deal. It really isn't. So people just go, no, I'm not going to look. I'm just not going to look. I wasn't going to look. I really wasn't. But the critics, you know, it's a story in itself. It really is. Private Ross for 99. Yeah, that was a good point. That's a really good point. I'd love to see a video between you and, yeah, we were supposed to do it. He was supposed to remember he was on here one night. And I said, hey, I'd love to interview you. And he said, okay, I'll send you an email. But then he didn't. And or if he did, I did. It didn't come to me. It's Tory, Tory Christman, like Christ man, 44 at gmail.com. That's my email. So if anybody knows him and you can send it to him, here's my email. There. That's it. That is it. Anyway, I'd like to interview him. I really would, especially for the new year. It'd be fun. It would. I'm going to start doing more interviews. Some of them are also on COS payroll. Yeah, that's true too. That is true. SP created. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you know, Yachty, who got me to open up those phony accounts, he definitely is a class 8 who works for the church. And then he does OSA in the morning, early in the morning. He audits, and CS is in the afternoon at the, now it's the Church of Scientology, Sherman Oaks. It used to be the Enhancement Center. And then at night he audits, at night he does OSA. He's online again, screwing around with everybody. Some of them are also, okay, yeah, that's right. Okay, yes, it was interesting who was not on our list. It's interesting that you both didn't know some of them. Yeah, bunches of them. I mean, hi, Tiff420. Good to see you. Thank you all for coming on here. I appreciate it. I'm going to take a drink of water. I drink carbonated water. It's called ice. And you can get it at Costco. Well, you can get it at grocery stores now. I think they have it too. But the best price is at Costco. You get 24 bottles of it for, I think, $10. It's not much. Tori, you need to watch a video. The name of the video is Lots of Wins Today and about Scientology and how wonderful it is. I don't think so. Is it really something that I need to see? Because, remember, I was in it for 30 years, so I know the lots of wins today, unless it's something new. If it's really something new, I'd like to watch it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you, Sophie. Hey there, Tiff420 said witness. Love ice. What flavor? Yeah. Uh-oh, my battery's running low. How can that be? Oh, that's right. Now, wait a second. Hang on just a second. My battery's running low. Hang on just a second. I have to figure out where to plug it in. Shipalama. All right, come on. Okay. Can you guys see all this stuff or not? I think I plugged it in. Yeah, I think I know I plugged it in. I plugged in the battery cord. I don't know where to check to see if it's charging or not. Let me see. No. Yeah, this is, here we go. Battery status, 8 points available, plugged in. All right. Okay, so we're good. Okay, that's good. I had just thought of that. I think maybe I need to plug in my battery because I'm not used to this kind of system. So it just isn't in my head like it is. There it goes, where I love the camera when it moves like that. Anyway, looks good, Tori. Thank you, witness. Yeah. Okay, stand by for technical stuff. Thank you, witness. So true. So very true. Anyway, for me, the other thing I wanted to tell you guys about is, which Aaron did too, but in case you missed it, they're coming out with all these ads that are, how fabulous Scientology is. And we believe, and I know they really believe it. I remember doing these ads, so I've done them. We believe in, we stand for compassion, tolerance. Well, first of all, compassion, not true at all. They're compassionate with their members as long as you're paying and staying within Scientology and not talking to us. Anything else, there's no compassion. That ends there. Tolerance, they are the least tolerant group of people I've ever known, ever, across the boards. When the camera zooms in and out or pans, it makes me laugh. I know, it makes me laugh too. It's really weird. It's unusual. But Bunker said any camera can do it. Any computer can. Okay, so tolerance is another BS one. Truth, please. Just look at what they've said about me. I mean, I actually have been very nice to them. I'm nice to Ted, who's a security guard. I'm nice to, what's the guy's name? The guy that I've known forever. Anyway, Drew and I know him. The other security guard, just forgot his name. But you guys know who he is. Yeah, tolerance zero, compassion zero, exactly. Yeah, they're awful. I mean, it's like it's minus. It's not even zero. It's like minus. So tolerance, they don't have any truth. Forget it. I mean, just forget it. If you're looking for Scientology, do not go on Google and type in Scientology because it took them 20 years to get up to speed, but now they've got everything all, wherever you go, it's how great Scientology is. So you kind of have to, I would say this is the best place to start. I'm going to show you. You guys know what it is, but here it is. My friend who helped me wake up In Norway, zenu.net, X, but it's with an X, it's not with a Z. And that guy spent years and years and years. Wait, how do I get this off? Collecting information. So that's a great place to start. And then there's tons of others. There's tons of YouTube videos and all kinds of stuff. People that were in and now they're out. Janice Gillum, she's got a good site. The Headleys, I really like their site. Aaron, Aaron has all kinds of stuff that he does with Jenna. I like Jenna. I really love watching Jenna. She's a riot. She's David Miscavige's niece. And I remember she came out when Anonymous came out. So did the Headleys. They all came out at that same time and came up to me and said, I'm blown for good. I'm Mark Headley. This is my wife, Claire. That was great. And then I met Jenna. She was there. There were a bunch of people that had been online and we've been in touch with them. And because they knew so much stuff, we said, they've got to be, people from gold, they're up the church because they knew too much stuff. And they were. It was Jeff Hawkins. I think he came for the Anonymous thing. Tory, you're nice to everyone. Thank you, Sophie. I work on it. I mean, I believe in, what happened? Now I lost. Oh, there you are. I believe in, giving everybody a chance. It's kind of like I'm pro people are basically good. And that was the thing I did like about Scientology. That's what Hubbard said, man is basically good. And that's not a Hubbard thing. That's just a general thing that most people that are, trying to help people believe. And it's not that we don't have our own problems. We do. But I try to err on the side of goodness and rightness. And you meet a lot more fun people that way. You really do. Scientology gives you the false belief that you can be superhuman. That never happened to me, 49ers for Life. Did that happen to you? I remember if you were in or out, I think superhuman ever. I mean, ever, not for a minute. But remember, I have epilepsy. And in 1972, I was routed out of the Sea Org to handle epilepsy with Dianetics and vitamins. And so, it was a long haul of not working for me. So I certainly wasn't someone with higher powers. If I had higher powers, I wouldn't be having seizures. And my mother, thank God, got me back on my medicine, and that saved my life. It really did. It really and truly did. Another guy that had epilepsy got off all his medicine and he's dead. That's so I mention that to let people know, if you're listening to this and you have any medical condition, do not be in Scientology. Get your ass out of there and find a real doctor and get help, because Scientology will not and cannot help you. Really, they can pretend they can help you and they can take your money, but they cannot really help you. And they certainly don't handle your medical conditions. I don't know anyone where their medical condition was handled or gotten rid of with Scientology. Not anyone. And I was in it 30 years. Okay. Thank you, Witness. Just stopping in to wish you all Happy New Year. Thank you, Kim White. I hope you have a wonderful New Year's Eve. And let me just see if I missed anybody else. Oh, good. Well, I'm glad you came by. Scientology. Okay, yeah, that didn't happen to me 49ers for Life, but I've heard that from a lot of other people. So I don't think you're alone in it. It's just it wasn't true for me. Luckily, because I think epilepsy got me out. It really did. All right. So everybody's saying hi to Kim White. In a very physical, medical kind of way, negative impact of CFS. Right. It was very, very negative. ToryMagoo 44, you have been really compassionate to parishioners. One of my favorite videos was when you went inside the Santa Barbara church and was up front being SP declared and having a camera. Thank you. Yeah, that was like one of my favorites too. It really was, because we could have, and the guy I was with wanted to, just do the tour and get it all on film and all this stuff. And I just thought, that's not right. She's going to get in a lot of trouble for it. And so I felt really good on saying, look, I'm a declared suppressive. And I like saying it. It's fun to see people's faces. I went around when I was looking for work years ago here in Burbank and the Valley and stuff like that. I was going into different offices. And I went into one office and it was just a girl. And she was like a receptionist. And she had a piece of paper with all these little stick figures and, 5, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And she just had a whole page of these, right? And we'd gotten along great. And then I thought, okay, she's a Scientologist. I was like pretty sure, because very few offices keep track of how many calls came in. But that's a statistic for Scientology, how many calls came in. So I looked at her and I said, do you use the Hubbard management tech here at all? And she said, yes, we do. And I said, okay, well, here's the deal. I am a declared suppressive person, so you can't hire me. And she goes, you're kidding. Did you go through the IJC? And I said, yeah, they won't talk to me. But, it was fun because it is such a shock to them that someone could be so nice and be declared suppressive. It was to me too. It really is. When you get out and you realize so many SPs are just really cool people. Same for Scientologists. There's a lot of nice Scientologists. At least in my day, there were a lot of good Scientologists in Scientology. Now they're out, most of us. Okay, so let's see. Thank you, JB808. No, wait. Here, wait. Oh, it went away. Okay, there you go. Thank you. Yeah, that was one of my favorite ones too. Thank you for Mom got you back on your medication. Yeah, thank God for that. Orwellianson, hi. Hello. Long time no talk. Well, I've been here. I have. I'm glad you're back. Keep coming back. Peter and Marga Van Essen. Wow. Hi, Tori. I hope 2025 is a great year for you. Love from the Netherlands. Oh, enjoy the Netherlands. I hope it is too for all of us. I really do. I really hope this year is going to be a surprise for a lot of us. Don't Scientologists not believe in medicine because being an OT will give you the powers to stop any illness, one step closer to immortality? Sort of. I mean, I didn't, because I have epilepsy and I was having seizures, right? So that was sort of proof that these OTs that were around me couldn't do shit, right? If they really had the powers that they said they did, they could stop the seizure, and they couldn't. None of them. And in fact, they not only couldn't stop a seizure, they made me wrong every time. I would go unconscious, and when I would come back, they would go, well, you're just being irresponsible, Tori. That's all that's happening. You've got to get more responsible. I was like, talk about bullshit. Wow. It's like, oh, I'm amazed I stayed as long as I did. I am. But we all do what we're going to do. Let's see. Wishing you hugs and giggles. Thank you. Okay, now this says, Peter, now I want Hagelschlag. Wrong spelling. What is Hagelschlag? What is that? You'll have to tell me, lover. You'll have to tell us, lover. The Santa Barbara parishioner seemed like a really nice one. That was the other thing. She was really nice. And I thought, it's really not fair for us to do this to her, because she's going to get in a lot of trouble, and we're not. We'll have a video for the internet. Big deal. It's just like, nah, I'm not going to do that. I wear my SP bracelet proudly. Exactly. Yeah, that's the thing. I'm proud to be an SP. And like I said, it proves more than anything that action of declaring people suppressive, which is, in case you've never seen an SP declare, here's mine. I'm one of the few people who has an SP declare from the Church of Scientology. And it says here, her only terminal is the International Justice Chief via the Continental Justice Chief. And it's from the Flag Justice Chief for the Church of Scientology Flag Service Organization, approved by the International Justice Chief, who won't talk to me ever. He's never heard my side of things. He won't talk to me. He won't answer my calls. He won't answer my letters. So you call that justice? No, it's not justice. SPs are nicer than some Scientologists. Oh, yeah, for sure. Well, a lot of them were Scientologists. Any sane person is better than a Scientologist. I think that's fair. I think it is, because they're so brainwashed. It's mind control. Stop that hurricane. Oh, you can't. That I'm not sure what you're talking about, witness, but I can tell you know what it is. Love it. It's so horrible that they shamed you for having seizures. I know. That was the worst part of it. It really was. And they did it for years. It was for 30 years. I mean, I was on medicine, hadn't really had seizures, but every time I'd go into session, I'd come out and somebody'd grab me and say, come on in this room. Okay, so did this auditing get rid of your epilepsy? And because it's a physical thing, people felt like they could talk about it. It's actually a high crime to talk about people's cases. So I actually called a DOP and said, look, which is the director of processing. And I said, look, I can't handle these people asking me about my case. And you know about it. So I'm going to give them your phone number and you tell them about it. And he said, okay. So that happened here at ASHO and L. Ron Hubbard Way for a long time. And then when I went to Flag, the same thing happened. So I got the guy there to do it. And so I never had to talk about it again. It was just like, that's it. I'm not going through this with these people. I remember a really famous celebrity right before I was stopped from going on OT4 through OT8 at Flag. And the guy told me I wasn't allowed on a Flag land base and all this stuff. And so finally I wrote it up to RTC. I said, no, I'm not going to sec check epilepsy. I'm done. I want my folders to go up to Ray Midoff at RTC. He knows my case. And we're going to see whether you guys have a misunderstood on this or I do. It was just one line in one HCOB that L. Ron Hubbard had written. And I said, I think you guys are misinterpreting it. And so let's send it up to RTC and decide. And they freaked out. I mean, everybody at Flag was like, whoa, because their asses were on the line. And it turned out I was right. But in the meantime, my husband said, look, go rent a car and just go to Orlando and get out of here, because these people are nuts. And, they were like, this big celebrity came up to me and she said, well, you just don't have the right postulate, Tory. That's what's happening. A postulate is like an intention. And it's like your intentions are wrong. And that's why you're having trouble with epilepsy. And I was so, it just, when people do that, you just want to go, and she's dead now. But, she was a singer and she was someone that I used to love, but I didn't love her after that. But anyway, it came back with a thing from the Senior CS International that the entire technical team at Flag was crammed and corrected on medicine. And that's because of me and what I wrote up. And in it said, if someone has tried to do Dianetics and vitamins and all this other shit, and it's not working, and a doctor says it's okay. Let them get auditing. And that's for me, so at least I got that done, because my mother-in-law would have been dead. She was getting, blood thinners. And she was done with OT7. She was going to go onto the ship to do OT8. And they wanted her off her blood thinners. And she would have died. She would have definitely had a heart attack and died. But because of my whole thing, sending it up to RTC and that coming back, they let her on the ship with her blood thinners. So I helped a bunch of people. It really helped a whole bunch of people. It was really great. Okay, Orwellian, I understand what you're saying, but I'm sure there are many good people inside Scientology, but their beliefs cause them to behave differently. Okay, what did Orwellian say? Any sane person is better than a Scientologist. Yeah, it's like, it's tricky because they're like in the Truman Show. So they think like a Scientologist. They follow the rules of Scientology. They really don't think. They just kind of follow along. So he's kind of right. I mean, I understand what she's saying too. Tory Havelschlag is chocolate sprinkles. Ooh, that's so yummy. Now, those sound delicious. Well, you'll have to have a few of those for me. Question: what age do you have to be an OT in Scientology? That's a good question. I don't think there's an age on it, but I think there is now more than there was because of all the kids that have complained about it who were kind of, I don't know, put, like Serge, who was put to audit people at a young age and things like that. And they've made very vocal videos about it, thankfully. So Scientology has to take responsibility for that. But I don't really think there's an age limit. It's more, it's cost so much money. It's like, who can afford it? That's really what happens. Because the guys that get in the Sea Org, none of them are OT. None. Very few of them even make it to clear because Scientology promises them everything, but they give them nothing. And just know about this Sea Org, if you're listening, this New Year's, no doubt, David Miscavige is going to announce some, big, huge plan for you all to get to be OT 8 or above. And it's just BS. Don't even for a minute believe it because he's lied about it for too many years. It's just not right. No such thing as a good Scientologist. Well, I don't know. It's tricky. I don't agree with because I think there are some, I think of people who helped me when I was in the church and saved my life. Some of them, and they were good Scientologists. They were. It wasn't that it was because they were using Scientology, but they were good people in Scientology. They were in the Scientology Truman Show, but they remained good people. And I think there's a lot of those. I felt like I was. I stayed that way. I didn't compromise on a lot of stuff, but a lot of people do. So it just depends. Okay, Tory. Okay, witness says Tory stopping hurricanes. Okay, besides how the OTs don't seem to be able to do that. I know they're always like they can do this, and whenever it's good and it goes right, they did it. It's the OTs. But when it's a disaster, where are they? They have nothing to say about it. Nothing. And that used to always get to me. It was like, well, wait a minute. Why are you always around telling how great you fixed blah blah? But then when the bad things come around, you're invisible. Tori's a good person, Orwellianson, because she's a good person. There's a huge difference, Philo. Yeah, I think that's true. But I also think it's that honestly, because of epilepsy, I stuck to my own values. I used to always say, I'm on the bridge. I didn't say this to them, but in my head, I was on the bridge next to the bridge to total freedom because people would come up to me and they'd say, well, how could you be on medicine and be in Scientology? And I'd say, have you ever had a seizure? And they'd say, no. And I say, okay, then STFU, right? I can't say it anymore now. Well, maybe I can't. Shut the fuck up. It's like basically don't talk to me about what I should and shouldn't do if you've never experienced it. Believe me, if you had a grand mal seizure, you would do whatever you had to do to never have one again. And, so I would whittle off people off my list. It was like, I don't want to talk to that person again because some of them were really mean. And it was like, okay, I don't need that person again. So those people, they're not. They're definitely not. Okay, love it. Ultimately, Scientologists are victims of mass mind control techniques. That's correct. It's just this that some of these victims are inherently assholes. True. Okay, mind control. Yeah. And Orwellianson said, is the cult of Scientology really that influential in Los Angeles legislation and Hollywood studios? No, not at all. They just try to pretend it is. No, no, not really. I mean, they have some influence with the police, and Will has explained that, which is Streets LA, and that is because they donate so much money to the police department that the police kind of side with them. That's how that's going down. We used to always think they got paid under the table, but he said no, that's not really happening. It's just that they donate so much, they side with them. Fair enough, but that's about it. They don't really have, not with legislation, not really. No. Well, we will just have to disagree on semantics because I don't want to have a huge discussion about this. Lots of love and understanding. Nice, Sophie. That's good. And 49ers for life. Some people get into Scientology to help people, and some think they can be gods. Yeah, exactly. Now, see, I only got into it to help people. Not even to help me. I wasn't like, oh, maybe this will fix something. That wasn't my goal. Mine was to just be able to help people. So that was a big difference. That's a big difference than just trying to help yourself or be, think you're going to be some kind of higher power. Wandering Wombat. Hi, Tory. Love you as always. Thank you. And happy holidays. Thank you for coming. JB808, ToryMagoo 44, call the singer out. She's dead. If she was still alive, I might say something, but it's like, it's not, it doesn't matter. It's like it mattered to me, and I handled it. I left Scientology, and that was the most important thing. And part of what she said was part of what helped me move along. It was like, this isn't my tribe. You know what I mean? People that think like that, that's not my tribe. That's just all there is to it. It's horrible to treat people like that, Tori. I agree. Thank you, Witness. 49ers fan, that makes sense. Exactly. Sophie, I think that's what's intriguing about Scientology is everyone got in for different reasons. It is. It definitely is. Orwellianson. Hey, Tori, do you know if the cult of Scientology is influencing Los Angeles lawmakers and Hollywood studios still? It's scary how prevalent it was when I was there doing old shoots a few years back. Yeah, that was a while ago, and they've done some really creepy things that have changed that around so that, it's changed. It definitely has. They don't have the influence that, first of all, a lot of their big celebrities have left, and that's one thing. But and a lot of people that worked in that industry have left that were Scientologists that made that seem like they were really pro Scientology. But now they not so much. No, a lot of people are hip to, people in the industry watch the internet. I'm trying to think of who's this gigantic producer that I saw at the Egyptian Theater, and a 29-year-old kid said, if you could give us, it was Leo DiCaprio, and he's a really big producer, but I can't remember his name. Anyway, the 29-year-old said, if you could give us one piece of advice, what would it be? And they both said, look, get $500, $1,000, whatever you can, put it together, make a little short about your video or your movie and put it up on the internet, because that is all we do anymore, is we surf the internet trying to find good material. That's it. So it's like they're on the internet. Do you see what I mean? So they're hearing good stuff. They're not in the Truman Show. They're not in the Scientology Truman Show. Orwellianson, Sea Org is terrifying. It's an evil, 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 evil construct. It is. Yeah, I think you're right. Witness, I agree, Tory. They're lying about anything new or cool coming from CFS for the CO. Oh, that's right. I didn't finish it. So they said we stand for compassion. No. Tolerance. No. Truth. Absolutely not. And humanity for you. No. No. You can try that, Scientology. You can pitch it all you want. You can put your ads all over the place. But number one, you have to ask, why do you have to advertise? If you were so great, wouldn't people be out talking about how great you are? They're not. They're not. And so you have to run your ads. What other church? I mean, I guess there's ministers that'll run ads, but not really churches. It's very weird. It's very weird that you keep pitching these things that we can prove 100%. You know, breaking up families. I could have 200-300 families here in a week to prove that they haven't talked to their children in 20-30 years. One of my friends has never met her grandchildren. And if her children see this, call your mother. Or if you're a grandchild, don't feel like you have to go by Scientology's rules. Call your parents. You know, stay in touch. They're your only grandparents. You know, it's like Scientology doesn't own you. They don't. They act like they do, but they don't. Okay. Corn Freak, hi. Good to see you. I love that name, Corn Freak. I don't get to see you enough. You have to come by more often. Hello, Tory. I'm awake at all hours these days, but at least I can pop in and say hi. You can, and you got to do it more often. JB808, question, comment, age limit for OT. I Googled an up-and-coming actress, Jade Pettychan, and she completed the new OT5 course at 23 years old. What's the difference between new and old OT? That is a good question. I really didn't know it either because I was sort of with the newer OT stuff. But Jesse Prince flew Bob Minton in 2000. They flew me out there to Clearwater to be with them, with the Lisa McPherson Trust. I was there for a couple of weeks, and then I was going to come back home. And Bob said, I don't trust Scientology. They're going to be on the plane with you, and they'll capture you. So we're going to send Jesse with you to guard you. So Jesse and I are on the plane riding from Clearwater to Burbank Airport. And oh my God, he told me these old stories of these old OT levels. The funniest one is, I'm not sure if it was OT 2 or 3, but you had to intend someone in Europe. You had to contact them with your intention. And they were supposed to get the communication, and send you back a postcard. And I started laughing. I mean, it was just like, come on. And I said, did anybody get postcards? And he goes, I always did, but I sent them to myself. He said, no, very few people did. Now, I've talked to a few people who go, oh, I did it, and I got my postcard back. So, you know, but that was the old OT levels where they were very different. I mean, I can't remember them all. I'll have to get Jesse. We'll have to do an interview pretty soon, and we'll do the old OT levels. And I'll get Jesse to tell you about him because he's funny as shit. Jesse Prince is one of the funny. I used to tell him, you have missed your calling in life because you could be a comedian forever. I mean, he is really funny. And just naturally funny. It's really cool. So anyway, JB808, keep reminding me, and I'll try to get Jesse to do an interview, and we'll set it up with the new and old OT levels. That'll be great. I lost a dear friend because of Scientology. I will never respect it. I understand. I do too. I lost my husband, 26 years, and 30 years of friends. So I know. My respect for it. Come on. People can truly believe absurdities and have their empathy hijacked by the ideas of a cult. True, Sophie, very true. They can. Corn free. I think that's a little hard, or maybe it's 100%. I'm not sure. But either way, I think Corn Freak agrees with you. And I do too. Very good boundaries is a great place to start. True. I never even knew about boundaries until I got out of Scientology. I'd never even heard of them. Never. And it was like, that's a good thing to learn about. If you don't know about it, Google it and learn about it. Because especially if you're in a relationship, it is really important to set boundaries, because then, with either friendships or family, or, your husband or your wife or your girlfriend or your boyfriend, if you have boundaries, it really helps, because you can go, wait a minute, this is the line. Let's work this out. You know what I mean? And it really helps. It really does. Corn Freak, I'm so glad to see all you guys. My son started having seizures suddenly this year. Full body, it was scary all around. It is so scary. And I was 18 when mine started, and they just came out of nowhere. It wasn't like I hit my head or anything like that. But I will say, Corn Freak, I am a big fan of medicine for seizures. I really am. If you get the right the right ones, they totally handle it. And to me, it was funny because I was on Alt Religion Scientology, which was that linear news group in the 90s and 2000 when I got out, with the critics and some ex-Scientologists. Okay, so I knew a bunch of people on there from then. Now, my neurologist says, I think we're going to get you off of your medication and onto this new stuff. And I said, okay. I'm not happy about it because I haven't had a seizure in years, right? So why would I change? So I look up on the internet and I type in, and there's a website on epilepsy, and it's all these people who have seizures in all different forms. It's very educational. And I go on there and I say, 30-year person with epilepsy, hasn't had a seizure in 30 years. Doctor now wants me to get off this medicine onto this one. And they went nuts. All of them came on, don't take that medicine. Don't take that medicine. I took that medicine. It was awful. It really helped. It really did. And my new neurologist and I both agreed, now that's it. You've had too many years with no seizures. He lost 3 days of memory. Yeah, I lost years of memory. That's part of it. I asked my recent neurologist, who's brand new out of UCLA, and I'm 77, so I was like, wow, maybe I'm, because I would forget little things. And I thought, well, maybe I'm getting dementia or something. And my own medical doctor started laughing when I said that. And I said, what's so funny? And he said, people who have dementia would never ask that question. So there was that. Then I got a new neurologist, and I asked him, and he said, no, Tory. He said, everyone in this office, anyone who's had seizures has memory problems. It directly affects your memory. That's what it does. Now, just so you know, though, because DOA helped me for the rest of my life. It's something that he told me. He was here for maybe 2-3 hours helping me set up PayPal and Cash App and stuff like that, which thank you. Thank you to all of you who've chipped in on that. I really appreciate it. So he said to me at the end of the day, I said, look, I'm really sorry, because I have this memory thing, so I keep forgetting things. And he said, at the end of the time he was here, he said, you really don't have a problem with memory. You just need one word, and then you're back. And that's really true. I used to give talks. I'd go to different organizations and give talks about Scientology and mind control and abuse and stuff like that. And I would always say, look, I have this memory thing from having seizures. So somebody in the audience has to remember what I'm talking about, because I'm kind of like a tree, and I get off on a branch, and then I get off on a thinner branch, and then I get off on some skinny branch, and I can't remember what I'm talking about. So someone in the audience has to follow what I'm saying and remember it. And there's always someone who will go, I'll do it. And they're always really good at it, the people that do. And so, but he pointed out to me, it's just one word. And it is. It really is. Like, I'll go, what was I talking about? And I go, Lake Forest. And I go, okay, boom, that's right. So that's probably true for your son too. So, because it can feel really weird, like, oh my God, I've lost all my, 3 days of memory. Okay. It's not the end of the world. It'll come back. You know what I mean? Most of his memory will come back. It will. And he'll get better. And, you can have him call me. I'll talk to him. I'm happy to talk to anyone on medical, who has a medical condition, because I have been through a lot of shit with it. And I know that, you can succeed with it, but you have to get through it. And I can give him some books to read that'll help him and stuff like that. Get him the 4 Agreements. That is a great book. I don't know how old he is, but that's a great book for anyone to read. It really is. It has really basic principles. Bo beats black sheep. All right. Hi, Tory. How goes the life in a legend? Thank you. It's going good. We're doing good. Look at all the nice people here. 99 people now. They were killed, Philo. You can imagine my fury towards the cult now. Yes. Yeah. That's awful. Corn, that sounds legally frightening. Totally. How's Mark Bunker doing lately? I miss hearing from him. He's doing good. You can always go on Facebook and just drop him a little note saying hi. He's a wonderful person. Sophie, yes, this is from Corn Freak, and thankfully handled with meds right now. All right, perfect, good. That's tell him to stay on them. I mean, I'm a big fan of that. Intentions matter. Intentions do matter, but he's not having seizures because of his intentions. I promise you that it's a medical condition, which is what my mother pointed out to me, because Scientology was trying to say it's a psychosomatic illness. And she said, no, Tory, it's not a psychosomatic illness. It is a physical illness that you have, and you need medicine for it. And I know my grandfather was a doctor, and I know he was saying, get her back on her medicine. And they did. And thankfully they did, because I'm alive because of that. Intention is a key element in regards to some people get into Scientology to help others, some to become gods. That's so weird for me. Corin, that's great news. Yeah, it is great news. That is really great. Sophie, we just still don't know why they started exactly. I know. I don't either. And I'm 77. I don't know why they started. But after a while, you just go, okay, whatever. You can read up on what causes seizures. It's usually someone has bumped their head or something like that. But the main thing is to get it under control. And it sounds like you have, which is good, Corn Free. Susan P., my husband had epilepsy. I know how he feels without his medication. I hate to imagine you being off your meds, Tory. I wasn't long, thanks to my mom. It was only, I don't know, probably a couple months. It was awful for those couple months, but she got me back on it quick because she could see I was losing my memory. I mean, like literally, like she said, what are you going to do tonight? I said, I'm going out on a date. She said, okay, I'll call you tomorrow. And she called me the next day. She goes, how was your date? And I said, what date? And she goes, all right, that's it, Tory. That's it. And this was the boundary, like she drew the line. She said, that's it. We're done with this. You are going to be back on your medicine today, or I am going to fly from Chicago to LA. And believe me on this, L. Ron Hubbard and the Church of Scientology will never forget your mother. And I knew my dad was a professional football player and then a broadcaster. So this is him in his, with the Chicago Cardinals. Now they went on to become the St. Louis Cardinals and then the Phoenix Cardinals now. And then he went on to broadcast after that. So they had tons of media lines. And I knew my mom, she wouldn't just come here and bitch them out. She'd be on TV going, don't let your kids get in Scientology. So anyway, and who wants to have seizures anyway? Not me. So, hi, Tori. Just tuning in. Got to do it again. Hey, Sieglin. Cool. Corn Freak. The only breakthrough seizure he's had was when he forgot his meds. So I'm always making sure he's remembered. I carry a little thing of them in my purse, and I never leave my house without them. And that's how it all started with meeting my husband. That's how I met my husband, was that, because I was on course with him twinning, and they said, you're going to have to stay all night and finish your check sheet, all of you. And I was ready to jump out the window. I was freaked out. And I said, I can't do this. I said, I have to get home. And we were living it was the Manor Hotel, which is now Celebrity Center. But we were living there. And I said, I have to get home. I can't do this. And I didn't even know this guy. I never saw him or anything. I mean, we were twinning, but that was it. And he said, okay, hang on. I'll be right back. And he comes back and he goes, all right, let's go. Get your coat. And I'm thinking, what the hell is this? Because the guy who'd come in was Bill Franks, and he was in this big Navy uniform with all these gold things. And he was like, all of you are staying all night long. We're bringing in coffee and donuts at midnight, which is like, oh yeah, great. That'll really help. So I was really spooked out, and I thought we had to stay. And so we get outside, and I said, what happened? And he goes, I just told him it's out tech to study. I said, my twin is hungry, and it's out tech to study when you're hungry. So I'm going to go get you something to eat, and then we'll come back. So I said, okay. I thought, well, that's cool. So we go to Astro Burger, which we just went to recently. Drew and he took me to one out in West, not the same one, but West Hollywood. But anyway, I love their hamburgers. And I just sat there, and he was so funny and nice. And I just fell in love with him really that night. And now we come outside, and I said, now what? Because I'm thinking we have to go back to LA, Oregon, finish our course and stay all night. And he goes, we're going home. And I said, really? He goes, yeah, it's totally out there to make us stay all night. We're not doing that. We're going to go home. I'll take you home, and I'll go to my room. We each stayed on the same floor, on the 5th floor of the Manor Hotel. Not for long. We got married 4 months later after that night. So that was pretty exciting. Sorry if my question was repeated. I pressed enter twice. Don't worry, that's fine. Witness, yep, you have to really look for good humans. Use your critical thinking skills, avoid circular thinking. Good point, Witness. Corn Freak, people are out talking about how great they aren't. Well, that doesn't help anybody. That doesn't help anybody else, and it doesn't help you. So I just don't think it helps to, like I went to get my nails done, see? And which they look like they're orange, but they're very, very red. I don't know why this lighting is really weird. Maybe my flashlight will show them. Let's see. Can you see it? Are they red? Let's see. No, I don't know why. They're really, really red over here. No, they're not. It doesn't really show them. They look kind of orange there, but they're really this fun red. But anyway, the lady who owns the shop, we were talking about it, and it's going to be a tricky year next year because of all the election and that. And she said, we just have to concentrate on happiness and joy. I said, that's it. She said, if everybody did that, we'd be a lot better. And I thought, that's really true. So there we are, happiness and joy. Oh, Moon and Stars popped in here. Wait a second. Let me see. Where is this? Oh, yeah, that's right. I got to use these other things. One of these days I'll learn. I know when you see other people use laptops, they look so easy. This is. Oh, Sophie, so the tree analogy works for you for the memory thing. Good. Did you have behavior changes directly after seizures? Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, it was spooky for me because I would be so gone. And, one of my friends who's now a judge here in LA, Mary Jessup, and she let me stay at her house. I used to say I can count on one hand the amount of people that I can say the word epilepsy to. Remember, I was in a cult, so it's not like the average person. And they freak out because Scientologists are just geared to being against any kind of physical problem. And, so she was one of them. And she'd say, look, you're going to have a seizure. So just lay in bed and put pillows around yourself and have the seizure, and then you'll be okay. It's going to be okay. It was just, she saved my life. She really did. She was really, really great until my mom did. It took a little bit, but I was staying at Mary's house. I was the same for a while with brain fog, but now my memory is getting better. Depends on the situation. Yeah, for me too. It's much better, much, much better. But I haven't had a seizure in 30 years. So it's kind of like, thankfully for me, that part of it I got through. What was the name of the medication that may result in memory issues? I missed it. I don't remember it. You'd have to go on the epilepsy. Normal is overrated. You'd have to go on, just type in epilepsy websites. And I don't even know how I found it, but the guy that had been one of the moderators on Alt Religion Scientology took me in a private room and he said, Magoo, I'm so-and-so from Alt Religion Scientology. It's good to see you here. And it was really great. It was really fun. So that was kind of a fun thing. But I don't remember the name of the medication that may result in memory issues, but it was something where I think it's probably come and gone now because so many of the kids were against it. Tori, that's amazing. Thank you. I may come here for advice now and then. Oh, Corn Freak, for sure. Come all the time. I want you to come by just to come by. He's 25. Okay, so he was right around, I was 18, so similar age. But he'll get better. He's on medication right away, so that's a blessing right there. That was a great insight regarding the one-word reminder. I know, JB808. I mean, I say it all the time because it changed my life forever. I mean, whenever I forget something, I just think I have to remember the one word. You know what I mean? And I tell people around me if I'm trying to talk and say something and I'm going to forget, just try to have somebody follow along and remind me of what I'm talking about. And it works. It really works. It really got rid of all this fear that I had. So that was really great. And that's why I always tell people, you never know when you can change someone's life forever. I mean, this is forever. This will be a life-changing thing forever. And I mean, for him, it wasn't that big a deal. You know what I mean? It just wasn't, but it's a big deal for me in my world. So I always say, take time to, share stuff with people because you never know. You just never know. This is another fun one. Speaking of stuff like that, I met a lady on the internet. I'll keep this short, but I met her on the internet. She's a friend of a friend, and they broke up. And she came down here, and I wanted to meet her. So we met, and her parents were, the mother was sort of in a coma, kind of, and the father was in a wheelchair. And so I met them. I liked the father. I got along with him great. And I met the mother and I said, wow, you're really a beautiful woman. And she actually sat up and smiled. And the daughter said, I haven't seen her smile in forever. I can't believe it. So now I leave and she comes back again and she goes, why don't you come back again? They really want to see you again. And I said, okay. And I think, I should really bring her something. I didn't really have anything specific, but I thought, I should bring her something. So I have all these little bears, right? I'm like a bear person. So I brought the father, it was a little bigger than this, but I bought the father this little bear to just kind of take care of, hold, be part of his world in his wheelchair. So I gave it to him, and now he was passing away I think a year later, and the daughter called me and she goes, "You're just not going to believe it." And I said, "What?" And she goes, "My father put in his will that he named the bear, so it had a name. I can't remember it, but he named it, and he said he wanted that bear to be buried in the coffin with him." I thought, oh, it was just so sweet. It's just like, oh, isn't that touching? I don't know. To me, it was very sweet. Thank you, JB808. Co-witness, I saw them before. Tory is back in the chat. Are they still here? Okay. Still can't see Bo Beats. Oh, yeah. I saw Bo Beats for just a minute, just for a really quick thing. And then I think they might have taken off. A new study came out. This is from Charles Patrick, that discovered longtime London taxi drivers had the best protection from old age dementia. The part of their brain that stores memory is 30% larger than the average young brain, probably because they have to remember all the ways to go and directions. And you have to stay in the now to drive. That's what I think. So it would definitely help with that. Moon and Stars. Hi there, love. All right, I went back up there to see Moon and Stars, but I don't see her. Moon and Stars. Oh, yeah, there you are, Moon and Stars. Hi, Moon and Stars. Thank you for coming. I had an amazing Christmas. This was one of my favorite Christmases since I left the cult. It really was. I had a really great time in a number of different ways. I saw my son the night before Christmas. Christmas Day, I went with Spanky and a friend. And then a couple of days later, a bunch of us went to another really fun restaurant. And it was just a fun Christmas. It really was. I really enjoyed it. Sophie, Witness, I saw them before. Tory is back. Okay, are they still here? What? Bo Beats, is that more than one person? Okay, here's Charles Patrick. A new study came out and discovered, oh yeah, that's London, guys. Okay. Moon and Stars. Can stress and anxiety lead to seizures? You'd have to look that up. I would never try to tell you yes or no with that. I don't really know. I don't. I'm not a big person that deals with a lot of stress and anxiety, so I probably wouldn't be a good person to ask, but I would ask, your son should probably have a neurologist if he's on medicine, and I would ask the neurologist. And also you can ask Google, just check on that. No, I'll pass on the seizures, thanks. LOL. That's the kind of crap that did it for me. Sieglin. All right. Charles, memory is a real fascinating thing. It's something that has to be used to grow better. Everyone remembers in different ways. We all have to learn how to use our brains and neurological ... Oh, research says that the brain can form new pathways around managed neurons. I know that from Dr. Glenn Doman, he worked with severely brain injured children and found that with certain stimulation, he could bring them up to normal and often genius category. So when our kids were 2, they're well kids, he started thinking, well, wait a minute, if I can do this with brain injured kids, what about the well kids? And he started the Better Baby Week. And it's a week-long seminar teaching you exactly the same things he teaches the brain injured parents about how to help their kids, how to increase your baby's intelligence. He wrote a book called How to Increase Your Baby's Intelligence. And a bunch of us flew to Philadelphia, did the seminar, came back. I worked with Justin on it at home forever. It's fabulous. But part of his thing was that, yes, you can, there's different pathways that you can open up. and change around with certain stimulation. So it was really interesting. Really interesting. He was a great person to know. Let's see. Corn Freak says, I just mean exposing the abuses in regards to saying how great they aren't, but I try to be respectful. Yeah, I hear you. I do. Thanks for the lovely chat, Tori, and the seizure info. It's helpful to hear from others who have faced the same things. You're a real blessing on YouTube. Good night, Corn Freak. I'm glad it helped. I try to mention it a lot because I know we all have different things. And, if you can get through them, which we all can, it's just how you do it. And I'm glad your son is on medication, and good job as a mom. Really good job. Cornfreak, have a lovely evening and a happy new year. That's right. Happy New Year, Cornfreak. Tori, have you seen the guy's girlfriend with the poofy hair yet? I don't know who that is. The guy's girlfriend with the poofy hair yet. I think I'm the person. I think they were talking about me because when my hair gets longer, it gets real poofy. But I can't remember. Speedy Romans. Hello, Tori. Hi. It's Moon and Stars. Medication that can cause memory loss. Phenobarbital, something else, and phenytoin. Yeah, but you have to look at, for someone that, like me, I would take any one of those rather than having grand mal seizures. So if you haven't had seizures, it's easy to say, oh, that causes blah. And you're probably right. But if you have had seizures and any one of those medications or others are handling it, it's like, it's worth it to me. I'd rather be someone who can't remember everything. It's not the end of the world. Having a seizure can definitely end your life. So it's tricky. And I can't pronounce that. That's a long one. Wow. Well, you know a lot about this, Moon and Stars. Sophie, Moon and Stars, that's interesting. I know there are many exercises that improve memory. Okay, well, you got to let me know, Sophie. You got to let me know what exercises. Moon and Stars, wow. That last one should have been in list form. Sorry. I don't take any of those meds. Okay. Oh, cute bear. Tori, thanks. So nice. You're welcome. Witness, LOL, to the girlfriend. I really hope he found her. I'm not really sure what that's all about. Have LAGR. Okay. Greg, okay. Have a great new year, everyone. Thank you. Oh, wow. That's a touching story about the bear. What's the story about about the bear? And isn't that sweet that he wanted to be buried with the bear that I gave him? I was just like, wow, you never know when you might, because again, to me, just like the DOA, he's saying you just need one word. It was kind of just a simple thing. It's no big deal. But to me, I think of it all the time. It's like, wow, that guy really helped me out. So, it's important. Filios. I think that's for Sophie. There are many exercises that can increase memory if you stay away from certain medications. Okay. Halls, lozenges, and oat milk. All right. Greg, you too. Happy New Year, Tori. Thank you for being here once again. Gotta go. Love you so much. Thank you, Sieglin. Thanks for coming by, and Happy New Year. Have a very safe New Year's Eve. Sorry for the confusion earlier, Tori. I'm not sure if Bo Beats is a girl or a boy. I think she's a she, but said them in case it's a guy. Okay. Witness, I thought about my brain having ruts in it. I had to make a new road without ruts, or new ruts. It's just like new roads. Hey, Tori and chat. Got in on the tail end. Hi, Connie B. Thanks for coming by, Heart Healer 44. Hello, lovely Tori. Good to see you. All right. I went to art school with an older guy who had lost a lot of his memory in an accident, and he was regaining it by being there. He made cool art too. Yeah, definitely. Meme Streets. I don't know what that is, Fran Roscoe. You have to spell that out a little bit more. I don't understand what your question is. Connie B, my husband has epilepsy and is in Deepakote, has been on it for over 35 years. Oh, I see. He's on that kind of medication. Good. And it's covered and it's handling it, right? Good. Wonderful. All right, Moon and Stars comment, not saying you shouldn't take them. There's a delay in chat. I posted that when you said some medications can cause memory loss. I was just listing them. Okay, thank you, Moon and Stars. Puzzles are very good for the brain. Yes. Heart Healer, good evening, love. And question, are Scientologists allowed to take pain pills? Not really. They're not supposed to. They're really anti-medicine and in many, many ways. So people suffer a lot. Hey, Sophie, happy holidays, hon. Happy holidays. GTSY Sophie. Yes, no seizures for over 35 years, but his EKG is still abnormal. They won't give me an EKG. That's the really weird thing. They said, no, with my health insurance, you have to have had a seizure within a week to get an EKG, or not an EKG, an EEG. I think you mean EKG is for your heart. So EEG is for how they would tell as far as your brain. And for me, you have to have had a seizure, and I'm not going to have a seizure to get an EEG. So there you go. I guess it always will be abnormal. Yeah, EEG. There you go. That's horrible that you can't get an EEG. Not really. I don't care. It's all right. I'm happy with the condition, what condition my condition is. It's all right. Yeah, our healthcare system is kooky, but that's just the way it is. But it's not a life or death thing for me. It's like it's handled, it's covered, it works. They stay on it. They're really cool. So that's good for me. Tori, it sounds like you had a wonderful Christmas. I did, Heart Healer. I did. I hope you guys all did too. I really do. What condition your condition is in. That's right. That's the other thing I always say. Scientology is like the Hotel California. You can check in, but you can't check out. All right, you guys. Well, I've got to get to bed because I'm trying to go to bed a little bit earlier, but thank you for all of your wonderful comments. And if you haven't liked, hit the like button. Please do that before you leave. And I wish you all a very, very happy New Year. And I really hope New Year's is a fantastic year for all of us. Just checked in to see what condition my condition was in. All right, there you go, Sophie. Well, thank you, Sophie, and love it, and everyone here. I love it, Tori. What condition my condition is in. That's right. Have a good one, everyone. Stay safe and have a lot of fun. And remember happiness and joy. All right. You are welcome, Speedy Romans. Thank you all. All right. I'm going to say goodnight now.